7:37 here on Morning Barbados, having a good time on this Hump Day Wednesday, and somebody who stopped by to have a chat with us. Peter Boyce is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Belle.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to you too, Belle, and also to you too, Doug.
I know you're smiling.
Yes, I'm happy. You know, after coming on, after such a lady who's so energetic, I have to try and, you know,
Yeah, keep that pace.
yeah, try and keep
Are you a
pace up.
resolutions kind of guy?
No. I'm always so good at my resolutions. Usually people are waiting for the new year to say, well, I'm going to start exercise, I'm going to start eat right. I try to do that all the time. You know. So
You try.
I'm trying.
Right. So
But do you
Maria,
succeed?
Yes, I believe I'm succeeding. You know, you're at that age, and you know about that, Doug. When you have to keep fit, you have to keep, watch what you eat. You know, and I know that Belle watches what she eats.
you said that all of a sudden I just went like this, oh, let me suck in the stomach.
Ooh.
Okay.
With that in mind, how difficult has been the transition for you from, outgoing, gregarious entertainer, hanging here, out late, having a little one, all those kinds of things. Has that transition been a smooth one, or all of a sudden you woke up and said, I ain't a young fella no more, boy, I gotta do this anymore?
Yes, and I'm working for BARP, the Barbados Association of Retired Persons. They call me the BARP man now. Yes, well, I think that you always reach a stage in your life in which you start to prepare for transitions. Otherwise, you're going to find that you're going to have difficulties. I can think of, I think that Michael Jackson, for example, had problems with that transition because it always seemed as though he wanted to release an album and always to be hot. I think that if you're really smart, that you recognize where you are at your stage of life and you look to, be able to embrace it. And I'm lucky enough that, as you said, I had a more energetic career, and now I get to be with BARP and I get to deal with more serious issues, and I also still get to be energetic in terms of being involved in the movie industry. So it works.
Speaking of transitions, so it's interesting when you become a parent, and I mean you have two young men now. The boys are men. How old are your boys?
One is 24.
I remember.
I try not to solve that one.
I am famous for forgetting my son's age. One is 24 and one is 3 years younger than that.
Not good at math either.
Yeah.
So that transition from you're Peter Boyce, and then it's like, oh look, Rico's dad or Redman's dad. You know what I mean? How do you handle that transition? And we know, let's be honest, because I'm sitting at the table with two men. Men are very ego-driven. So how do you deal with that transition?
How are you getting it?
Man, I read that somewhere.
Take her on, Doug.
I don't.
Yeah, well, I know what she's talking about.
Listen, we don't drive and put on makeup and that kind of stuff.
That's not ego, that's vanity.
All I'm saying.
But I look at it as like another character, because I remember when I went to my sons, especially at primary school, and they always say, like Rico daddy, Ramon daddy. So I learned to embrace that. When I went to the school, I was Ramon and Rico daddy, and when I went out of the school, then I became Peter Boyce again.
Right.
So you learn to embrace the different characters that you play on a day-to-day basis in order to survive.
Right. And speaking of characters that you play, we're seeing you now on screen in a different way. So you're portraying different characters. And I remember seeing you in the movie Chrissy, which has done so well. And it's funny because I saw the little girl who played the bully in Chrissy. I saw her, I think maybe sometime last year, still in primary school uniform. And for some reason I was like, I don't know, I thought she should have been older by now. Do you see what I mean? But I think that was a wonderful movie. But you are continuing along this vein in working with Marcia Weeks. So tell me about the latest project.
The latest project is Vigilante, The Crossing, in which I played a part of Harry the Angry Man. And it's a fantastic project. I think it's a really great transition from the movie Chrissy, because you're now going to be seeing some action. It stars Kurt Brown, Alison Seeley Smith, Melissa Alana, Adrian Green is in it, David Gill is in it, and we also have Kay Foster, we have Patrick Michael Foster, so there's a host of stars, Claudette Wadman, so there's a host of stars that are in it. It is opening in Barbados mid-March, and it's also being accepted as part of the Pan-African Film Festival in Los Angeles, California, so this is quite a breakthrough for this movie.
What's the message in the movie, though?
The message in the movie is it deals with creating racial harmony and the importance of it. It deals with race issues, because coming out of this movie there's also a documentary which we expect to be shown on CBC television called Open Discussions on Race in Barbados. So it more deals with racial themes, and it's about trying for us to see ourselves as we really are, which everyone is equal. So it has a message that really resonates with the audience.
So it's sort of black meets white, rich meets poor.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I ask about the message, given all that is happening across the globe, all the racial insensitivity and the lack of discourse. Do you think this is timely, not just for the sake of race, but for race in Barbados in particular, because there's some who suggest that we have gotten to a certain comfort level, and that's a bad thing.
What you're saying is exactly right, Dub. It is timely, because as we are speaking to different persons, because not only are we releasing in Barbados, but we also releasing internationally. And what is happening now in terms of Ferguson with the protests and the riots and all of that, it means that right now a movie such as Vigilante the Crossing, dealing with race issues, really is, really hitting the nail on the head. So that's given us some real international appeal.
Vigilante, the term, when you hear that as a major theme for a movie, and you think of the two New York City policemen who were gunned down 10 days ago, and last night, as a matter of fact, two other New York City policemen were also shot. They were getting ready to go off duty, and they responded to a call, and they were shot. Is there a danger about the vigilante concept, where all of a sudden we feel that, listen, an eye for an eye is a good thing?
I think that you must be aware that when you're dealing with in terms of the perception of reality, because there's one thing when you're dealing with the reality of a situation, because even though there is a vigilante aspect in terms of the movie, you see that when you actually see the movie, you see in terms of how it is that it is able to unfold, and then you realize that it is not from a negative perspective such as that, because it all comes to an ending which pretty much promotes peace and harmony as it relates to the objectives of the movie.
All right, great. Peter Boyce will be appearing in the movie Vigilante Crossing. It should be hitting theaters in March. We're going to show you the trailer for that movie when we come back, and we're also going to meet a couple of the actors who will be in the movie as well. We'll be right back.